Moving on to our next session, which is focused on the modern technology refresh, that is streamlining database migration and cloud strategy. I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Abhijit Sen, Vice President and Head of Architecture and Innovation from Cygnet.One. Abhijit Sen is a distinguished consultant, specializes in guiding organizations through digital transformation, empowering businesses in fintech, retail transformation, and many more other significant genres to optimize operations and drive growth. With a focus on cloudification and emerging tech adoption, he designs transformative solutions, navigating regulatory landscape and unlocking new revenue streams to shape the future of global enterprises. Through strategic roadmaps and collaborative approaches, Abhijit enables businesses to thrive in today's rapidly evolving digital landscape. With this, can we have a huge round of applause to welcome him on stage?
Good morning. Started with what is coming up next, then a great case study from a liquor industry. What we get now is a little bit 10:30 in the morning, your day starts, you have different thoughts coming in. The topic is very simple, empowering digital excellence. Data from your from ideation to execution. Topic is very simple. But before I go into this topic and talk about data, how AI is helping, I want to trigger some emotions or some thought that you always have. And I'm quite sure that these statements that I would make here on, you have always seen. Are you one of those who has spent millions and seen that crumble together because of some digital transformation or process transformation? For one of our customers who came to us recently, they acquired one product from as a merger and acquisition part, and they wanted to go for a transformation and integrate in their ecosystem. Problem was, the analysis that they have done was based on human knowledge, or the knowledge that were acquired during the acquisition plan. And that was not backed by data. The business plan that they have created was not backed by data. And here I come to the next bold statement. Biggest failure of digital transformation, do you think is human? Is it the spoke that we have, or the knowledge that we get from the different business unit or our heads, all the people beneath you? What is written in the application, in your code, in your database, are you extracting those information? For example, if you are going into a workshop that you always go for before submitting a plan of digital transformation, your human assets are there. You are interacting with them. Where is your digital asset? Where is your code? Where is your database? Where is your infrastructure? That is present only in their brain. For example, let's take our example. Are we able to give the right information at right time always? The answer is no. How we can leverage that? Let's take another bold statement. And sorry, I know it's early in the morning and I'm triggering such bold statement. There are silos. We have business units. We have operational units. We have different teams in our organization beneath us. I am leading an innovation lab. So I have different teams set up for different technologies, different initiatives. But are they connected? Are we getting all the information in a centralized location? Answer might be no. Oh, just recently I have heard my previous speaker mention, his CFO is asking him how we can leverage blockchain, how we can leverage Gen AI. Today's, and we in Cygnet, being privileged to be a part of their conversation with CFO, being a part of tax domain, we understand because of you guys, they are much more tax savvy. We sometimes feel surprised that whether they are from a finance background or real IT background, they know more. And this thought they have overcome, because Government of India has made their life so difficult with constant changes, they don't feel transformation is cost sensitive. Before I go to the what actually my pitch is, we are seeing that Gen AI coming into play, IoT is coming into play. Machines are learner, machines are creator, they are innovator too, but not with us, not without us. They need that, they are smart, but they need our support. We're asking the right question, how we leverage that. The last bold statement that I make before I really talk about the use cases and all is we all made this. We are going to do digital transformation. Have we done the BPR, business process reengineering? Had we analyzed whether we should go for business digital transformation or process transformation or technology refresh? That's where our Cygnet playbooks comes in. How we have constructed those playbooks with our different products that are in play, with our services, 23 years of in the service industry we have been. We understood some of the pain points and created a simple, very easy playbook, powered by all the services that we have, powered by the innovative tool, the accelerator that we have created, that helps you or your company to go beyond digital. And that's the Cygnet playbook. This we all know from discovery, assess, transform, and evolve. But what comes where and how the things can help you using generative AI, using machine learning, having a control set of data, how? So my simple thing, functional intelligence at your fingertip. That is one of the most important components. How we do it? Let's take, I mentioned, where is your digital asset in the workshop of digital transformation? With help of generative AI, and we have used 𝗀𝗄𝗧 for that, so that it is private, not exposed. Get your code, we generate use cases. Use cases, not BRD. We generate use cases. That gives you a value point to put in and play in your business plan, so that you can plan your roadmap correctly. Presently, we think that this is the depth of the application, but is it so? Our due diligence that we perform is not outside view to your inside view. It is inside view to the outside world. And that helps you to actually understand the problems that are present, that you already know, must be articulated well, and understand what is coming in the market as well. Next part is very simple. Software health and observability, that comes a lot of sense. So your application portfolio rationalization with our partner network, we help you to get that. Plus, so for example, you have migrated to cloud, and now you need something to reduce the cost. Whether migration helped you, are you leveraging all the services in that way that needs to be leveraged? So that is something that we analyze and give a perfect report to you. Data, now the most important component. Have you thought of database imaging? Extracting the information that is resided in the compute service or the properties of the database. For example, store procedures, linkages between, integration between your ERP systems, the utilities connecting between all the ecosystems. Have you thought about that? How you extract that data? For example, if you are planning to reduce cost, migrating from MySQL to Postgres, just think about it, it's a 1-year plan. Because AWS SCM, for example, if you are using AWS SCM, schema migration tool, that will give you unique, for example, we have done a mid-size database. Migrating that gave me 7,000 unique errors because of the business logic written in the database. How we can reduce that, or how you can automate that? Okay, that's where our Gen AI platform comes in, our utility comes in, which helps you to automate your migration or technology refresh. So yes, as we go into depth of leveraging the accelerators that we have, our pre-built solution of ASP, GSP platforms helps you to do your migration faster or digital transformation faster. Why to go for a digital transformation? Can't we go for a process transformation? Isn't that easier? Isn't that the baby step that we should take on? I understand that might not be the right fit, but can't we do that? Security is the key. I was having a conversation today morning. I understand the problem that for a data from start, that is when the data gets generated, a customer fills a form, simple, a data generation. It came to data in transit, moving through the network, data in transit, data in the database, data in the data rest. But is it that all? No, it has gone beyond that. When you massage the data, when you are putting it in the warehouse, how you are securing that aspect? When you use it for AI/ML, is your data clean? Is your data secure to be used in AI/ML? Or any of the latest technology that we are doing? That is something that we analyze and give you. Last, quality. Before it goes in front of the customer or client, it is the quality. These are our own tools where testing with our own tool, business assurance testing that we perform, that helps to extract the information. Most important, you all are using ERPs. So how you are testing it? Have you automated your SAP testing? That is something that we do. And data. When we transform our data, when we move the data from one platform to another, one pipeline to another, how we optimize it and how we test it. That's all from my side. I would like Anil Rajnara to come in and take the next session.
I think we all might be wondering what I'm doing with source to pay, which is a business process per se. The objective is more to extend the same subject with a business process digital transformation. I think the second part, which is critical to understanding this entire thing, is this specific process involves multiple stakeholders. It's not that, and that's the reason why I'm discussing this in front of all of you, is it starts from supply chain to logistics to procurement to the compliance guys, finance, everyone. But the common thread in this entire process is the involvement of IT and digitization. That's the basic part of it, because many of this is still done manually. There's a brick and mortar process involved. There are plenty of data pools being created because multiple systems are there. And I would like you to look into one more thing. You might be looking into this word compliance and wondering that how does it reflect on CIOs? But this part, if you look into the way compliance is happening today, it happens once the entire compliance is done into the respective portal of the government, and then the end output comes, and when the mismatches happen, the compliance process starts. It is you who can make this thing possible of compliance before purchase entry into the ERP. Is nothing but unless we don't take up that entire process into digitization and give a root cause fix to it, things can't move forward, or we can't change the things the way it is happening today. So the simple part of it is, this is the landscape of the entire source to pay. The procurement piece is something which all of you are fully aware of. The RFQs and everything which you've seen in most of the ERPs are available. But let's look into the vendor part of it. Today, the vendors which we have also need to be validated. Now that validation is where you can play a major role, because there are series of APIs now available which can help you validate these vendors online. This is where your role into this entire activity can help the entire process owners very specifically. Second, the most neglected subject in the entire corporate world that I have seen is getting purchase invoices. Today, when we talk about this simple example to anybody, that do we know how many purchase invoices have we collected till date on any specific day? Nobody would know. One would only know what are the purchase entries done into ERP, and that becomes the starting point. But the very flow of purchase invoice, we have never digitized, in spite of the fact that government through e-invoicing has ensured that everyone has got a digital invoice. So that is part number 2. Third, once these invoices are collected, how is this data extracted from this invoice? To a very large extent, done manually or through eyeballing. And the more digitized organizations would have an OCR mechanism to extract the data. But have you ever thought back and said that this data which is getting extracted, has it ever been validated? Do we validate this data with any neutral source before putting it into the ERP? That's the challenge number 3. And then, of course, the entire overall automation of ensuring that once the data gets into ERP, how do I do a GRN versus PO versus invoice data, full reconciliation end-to-end, and automate the entire process? The first part of it, when I'm talking about the vendor piece, friends, these APIs are available. All that you have to do is consume in your ERP, consume it as and when at the frequency that you want, and your vendor master will be fully updated, right from the PAN part of it, to the GSTN part of it, to his, I would say even the strike-off status part of it. And the best part is, these APIs can also tell you the compliance history of a vendor of what he has been doing in the last 12 months. If can't be consumed into an ERP, applications are available on with the platforms. These things can be done, and the end output can be consumed back into the ERP. But this is something which is available today. Second, once the invoice is collected, the data can be extracted through OCR, which is what this system has done. The only thing is we call it as an intelligent data processing unit for the simple reason that it is template agnostic. If you have 5,000 vendors, you will have 5,000 templates, and it has to be rule-based and role-based, where this data can be extracted the way you want it. Up till now, everything is fine. This is where the difference starts happening, where now I start validating this data online. I first read the GSTN number and run an online API. Is it active? Then run it and say that, is this GSTN number e-invoice enabled? And once I know this data, I will go and read that QR code and say, is it a valid QR code? And read the QR code. This QR code has some 8 data points. These data points are nothing but the e-invoice data at a summary level. I match this with the invoice data. Now, friends, just for our understanding, the QR has e-invoicing data. The way this entire structure works is, within 48 hours, this e-invoice data goes to GSTN data as sales data. GSTR1 is what they call. And the same data comes back to you, if you are the corporate, as your counterparty purchase data. This is the entire structure. It happens within 48 hours, every day. So when I get this data, validate it, what is it that I am trying to tell you? I am saying that this invoice data which has been captured is same as what is there in GSTN. Please go and park it as purchase entry into your ERP. This, to my mind, friends, is compliance before purchase entry into the ERP. And this gives you a root cause fix to the entire mismatch issues. And the biggest problem which we are facing is garbage that is getting into our ERP in the form of manual entry. Errors happen, we all know. Now, on the OCR part also I will touch. We all understand that 100% of the data is not extracted. It takes time, the system takes time to mature and understand and brings it into a certain level. And as usual, government has been one step ahead. What government did this time, GSTN, is they gave, since we are in IRP, they have now given all the counterparty vendor JSON of e-invoice. It's now available within 48 hours. So while I am doing this, I also now have extraction data and the entire e-invoice data transaction-wise, every single line item-wise. Whatever has been entered into invoice, every single dot and comma is now available with us, with something called an HSN number also for the purchase. So now you have full data the way it is in GSTN available, match it and take it forward. This gives you a permanent fix to the entire purchase invoice journey digitization. Plus, I'll skip this through, but I'm just showing you that once the data is available, it is so very easy. Park it into an cockpit for the invoice data. When you are doing your GRN, just punch in the invoice number. The data is now populated. No more manual entry. All that you will have to do is do that final checking of that data of whatever you want to do, post your inspection and everything, and the system will tell you what is the difference amount. Everything online available, and here you would do your entire PO versus invoice data versus GRN reconciliation happens online. And finally, in case there is a difference and the organization policy allows you, you can take an online debit note and then get into the posting part of it into the ERP. The last part before I take leave, e-invoicing global footprint, and why should I share this subject with you is, we have realized that one, e-invoicing, the rest of the world is looking at India very carefully. The kind of volumes that we have dealt with and the kind of complexities transaction-wise that India has done, and most of the countries, more than, I would say, 48 countries are likely to implement e-invoicing in the next 24 months. That is what is likely to happen. All India-based corporates with multinational presence, you will ensure that the e-invoicing gets implemented everywhere. We have seen the CIOs are the fallback option to say, should we talk to this vendor or not in any other country? And that's the reason why I am trying to take this opportunity and say that Cygnet is not only a service provider, but also a IRP. That is, we generate e-invoices. We account for, as on date today, 1 out of every 5 e-invoice which is generated in India today flows through Cygnet ecosystem. So one, we have understood that entire journey of how to generate e-invoice and also be a service provider. And we're going to take this opportunity to cut across all these countries. And these are the countries that are likely to go live in the next 1 year or so. Malaysia this August. Similarly, Singapore and rest of the countries are there. All that I am trying to say is, in case there is an e-invoice requirement likely for you, for your subsidiaries across the globe, you have your friendly neighborhood e-invoicing service provider available. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Anil sir, for sharing your valuable contribution. Please stay back. And Abhijit, can you also join us on stage so we can felicitate you? And I'll request Mr. Puran Jaiswal from TBZ to come forward and felicitate them for their talk. I'll request you to felicitate Mr. Abhijit. And Anil sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again.